Hello, I'm Mick Cornett, the Mayor of Oklahoma City, and welcome to our Facebook page. We thought we would do something specifically for our friends on Facebook, and we asked them if they had any questions about things that are going on in the city or down at City Hall, and we got several, so I thought I'd answer them for us today. First of all, Ellis Garrett asked, what about public transportation? Well, that's a very general question, but I think we're headed in the right direction. Public transit is not something we necessarily do well. We lack the density to really fund it efficiently, but we're working really hard on creating the density so public transportation in the future of Oklahoma City can do better. We're constantly reassessing the bus service and the routes, hoping to meet the needs of our citizens. At the same time, we're adding bike lanes throughout downtown Oklahoma City as part of Project 180. We're expanding our citywide bike trails with funds from MAPS 3. And MAPS 3, most importantly, is adding a modern streetcar system. We think this is going to help circulate people throughout the downtown and midtown areas, and we also think it's the first step in a much more expanded rail-based system that would be the future of the region for public transit. We also have an exciting program downtown called Spokies, which is basically a bicycle program, so it'll move you around downtown on bicycles, and so far so good. It's proving to be very popular. But overall, our biggest challenge is just serving residents that are spread out over one of the largest metropolitan areas in the country. We're over 600 square miles. We're continuing to explore ways we can do better, especially on the bus service side. But we really need to start looking at transit regionally, and we're already having the conversation. So on a future day, perhaps the question can be a little more optimistic. But in the meantime, we're going to struggle, and long term, I think we're going to have some answers. All right, on a related note, Stephen Tyler asked about the future of commuter rail service between Oklahoma City, Edmond, Norman, and Tinker. And boy, we discussed that a lot around City Hall. A couple of years ago, we had a region-wide group start to look at what would be commuter rail, connecting Norman and Edmond and other places east and west. And that was a very good discussion. The problem with is how do you pay for it? And also, at some point, you know, it no longer is just Oklahoma City's responsibility, but it's the responsibility of the citizens in Edmond and Norman to step up and help with the funding. And so there's a lot of political groundwork that has to take place between now and when it makes sense, but we're working on it. Also, you should know commuter rail is very expensive, and Norman and Edmond are quite a ways. So funding becomes the central question, especially in today's fiscally conservative environment and in a community where automobile traffic generally flows pretty freely. If we had a lot of traffic congestion, it would probably speed up the cooperation of the taxpayers and the interest of the other communities that are going to be necessary to move this along very quickly. All right, next question comes from Carl Wood. Carl wants to know if we've considered looking at Reno Street, which is basically the north-south divider. He would like to know if we've looked at Denver 16th Street and thought about turning it into kind of a pedestrian mall, which, I have never heard of that idea presented before. The idea is that you take a street where there's a lot of density and you shut it down to vehicular traffic and you just turn it into a retail environment. And it works pretty well in Denver. Keep in mind, Denver's a lot bigger than Oklahoma City. The city of Denver and the city of Oklahoma City are fairly similar in population, but the region of Denver is more than twice as big as Oklahoma City, and that density is a key. I think what you'll see, though, is over the last 20 years, we've made a lot of steps toward trying to create density. That's what MAPS was about, that's what MAPS for Kids was about, and that's what a lot of MAPS 3 was about. And certainly Project 180 is about all of that. We're having a lot of people move to the city, demand for housing downtown. All of those things make the type of project that you're talking about make more sense in the future. We also are designing the boulevard, as you may know, and it runs through the central core. And I think with the park and the convention center and the downtown streetcar, we're going to have a lot of retail down the line in downtown Oklahoma City. And who knows, we may have the type of pedestrian mall that you're talking about. Well, that's about all the time we have. So thanks for your questions, and keep up with our Facebook page for more offerings down the line. In the meantime, thanks for making Oklahoma City such a great place. I look forward to seeing you down the line.